Welcome to the Krystal Clear Life Podcast. Hey there, I'm Krystalore Crews, your host and CEO of Crews Beyond Limits. I'm here to bring you clarity, confidence, and connection. Life's twists and turns are inevitable, but together we will embrace the chaos and live a more fulfilling life. So put your seatbelt on, it's a wild ride. Get ready for inspiring stories, actionable tips, and a whole lot of fun. Let's dive in and make each day crystal clear. Come with me. Hey, my friends. Welcome back to the Krystal Clear Life Podcast. This is your host, Krystalore Crews, and I am so grateful to be here with you and share this message. So when I started to think about where I wanted to take you today, I really wanted to think about the word freedom. So what does freedom mean to you? When you think of the word freedom, if you were to close your eyes and imagine a place that you were in, what is freedom to you? What does it feel like? Who's around you? What emotions creep up? And I'll tell you, for me, as I'm here right now, it's always been the beach. It's always been the ocean. The sound of the waves running along the side of the beach. When I think about freedom, I think about untethered, being authentically me, all parts of me. And over the journey that I've been through, I just want to share that there are many times in my life where I did not feel free. And so what I have found is over time, as I've continued to figure out who I am, what my personality type is, why I'm put on this earth, and what the heck I was going to do to create more impact, and what I was going to do after the military in the next chapter and the next season of life. As I approached 40, I was like, I still feel pretty restricted. What is freedom? And I'll tell you, freedom, I feel like it's something that everyone is looking for. All right. And so when I think about freedom, I think about clarity. I think confident. I think free. I think unrestricted, flow, fun, play, alive, this aliveness, right? And peace. And so I want to share with you my freedom formula. So I know I shared a lot of my story already, and I'm going to continue to share why I created this system. But this freedom formula is really what helped me be crystal clear in what the heck I was going to do with my life, how I wanted to create impact. And every time I'm in a season of change or I'm in growth mode, or I am leveling up in fitness or in business or in life, y'all, like, it has been a journey. And I'll tell you that this system, this freedom formula, it works. And the work works when you do the work. I always say that. So put your seatbelt on. It's a wild ride. I want to share with you this freedom formula because I'll tell you, there has been many times, especially in the military, I did not feel like I could have fun and play and be able to have a place and a platform that I can say whatever I want and have my own voice and my own show. And here I am living the dream. And I know that you can do this too. So the first step in freedom formula is first of all, I want to go through the freedom formula. It has 5 C's. Okay. So if you're taking notes, take some notes. It's 5 C's. So go C, 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 C. 5 C's. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So the first one is core. So knowing yourself to the core, knowing your posture and that you're having a life experience and someone else is experiencing you as well. And as an emotional intelligence coach and facilitator, I train hundreds and thousands of people all over the world on emotional intelligence. And that self-awareness is the first step. You have to get to know yourself. You have to understand that you are having a life human experience and someone else is experiencing you as well. So recognizing it and knowing it brings a level of confidence and clarity to the way that we show up in the world, right? So we have to kind of figure this out. So what I always like to say, in order to free yourself, we have to get back to basics. And we have to unpeel the layers of who we are to the core and recognize our posture, our energy arrives before we do. I actually, in real time, where I'm shooting this podcast, I was sitting on a bench, I was sitting on a stool, and I did not have good posture. And I was like, this doesn't feel right. We got to pivot. Shout out to my incredible team here that's helping bring this alive. Thank you so much. We have shut down an entire household to make sure that this happens, to bring my dreams alive. But my core posture, in the very first episode, if you go back, make sure you're watching. If you're just joining, thank you all for joining. Thank you for liking, sharing. Y'all are sending me messages that you're just so excited for what is to come with this podcast. And I'm just so honored and blessed to be here and bring this to you. But the very first episode, it was messy. I was all in my head, but I didn't feel like I had good posture. And I even called my mentor, my coach, and I was like, hey, in between, he's like, how did it go? Shout out to Marcus Black. He's incredible coach and mentor, has been helping me get my message and my voice out to the world and my books. But I called him in between. He's like, how did it go? And I'm like, well, I felt like it was messy, felt scattered. I felt restricted. So he's like, you have the freedom. This is your chance. I'm like, all right. As a Mr. One, it's like, all right, we need to change this up because I don't feel like I have good posture. I need to be able to stand. I need to be able to play. I need to be able to have flow and be all of me because I have a lot of energy and I have a lot to share with you. All right. So it didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel right. It felt off. Something felt off. And so I'm sharing this to you in real time because this is what we need to do sometimes in life. We need to get crystal clear on what we need to do, how we are experiencing life, and what we need to live our best lives at our 100%. So as we unleash these tools, tips, and tricks, and all the initiatives that we're going to share with you, you got to get crystal clear down to the core, who you are, what your needs are, what your values are. And know that your posture is so important of how you show up in the world. Now, I'm a small human. I'm 4'11 3/4. I am fun-sized, bite-sized, whatever you want to call it, vertically challenged, I'm not really technically challenged, but I'm vertically challenged. But I have a big energy. I take up space. And I'll tell you, I didn't always take up space. I played small. I was fearful of showing up on camera with my voice. Right? And so I've had to unpeel a lot of these layers to break through to make sure that I am authentically me and I'm showing up with all of my personality unapologetically. And so this has been a season and a journey of growth. And that's why I always say, put your seatbelt on. It's a wild ride because you never know where you're going to land. When you're open for opportunity, you never know what could be possible. So when you open up your posture, your energy, your heart, and you are aligned in everything that you do, and you are crystal clear in who you are and what you're put on this earth to do, and what your gifts are, and what your values are, and you are unapologetically going after it, you are unstoppable, unshakable, unbreakable. And that, my friends, is true freedom. And that freedom comes from clarity. It comes from unpeeling the layers and doing the work. And the work works when you do the work. Okay? So when you think about the freedom formula, we're getting back to basics. So number one is your core. Okay? Your core posture, your core values, and your core personality. So figure out, what is your personality type? Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Do you like being around people? Are you an ambivert? Right? If you don't know what these terms are, it's how you get your energy. How do you refuel and how do you recharge? Do you get energy around being around other people? Or do you recharge alone in solitude? I found that I like a combination of a combination. And I always say in the Cruise Beyond Limits world, it's a combination of things that helps drive results, that helps get you to that next level, that helps drive success, that helps drive freedom. It's not just one thing. It's not a fad diet. It's not a quick fix. It's not an injection. It's not a magic pill. There's nothing else other than you getting clear and getting down to the basics of who you are to the core so that you have I would say it's like a litmus test, like your guiding light, your GPS system. It's a lens and like a filtering system in which we see the world and how we make our decisions, right? So when we get down to the core, that's number one in the freedom formula. We cannot skip steps because what happens is if we get confident and we can get cocky, we can have that ego creep in, right? If we want to be and act and look a certain way, but we don't have depth to our heart and we're not open and vulnerable and reflect and we know ourselves deeply to the core, that's when you see all the highlight reels of social media of people showing up with the fancy cars and all the things and but they're empty inside. Okay? So this freedom formula works when you do the work. So come along. All right, so the second C is all about confidence. Okay? So in order to have the confidence, we have to get clear on where we're at and draw a line in the sand and get honest with ourselves of where we're currently at and where we want to go, right? When we're clear, clarity brings confidence because we're like, yes, I know that this is what I want to do. I'm on a mission to help empower everyone on the planet put themselves and their health first for just 34 minutes a day so we can reduce the stress and overwhelm of life and live a more fulfilling life. And who doesn't want that? That, my friends, is so clear. And people are like, 34 minutes? Why 34 minutes? And how the heck do I do that? Where do I begin? Well, this is where I'm going to teach you. I'm going to help you. I want to help you move and navigate life stressors and pressures and do it because we're all busy. We're all busy. We're all being pulled in several different directions. But if we are clear and we chunk it out and we have manageable things that we can do each day, we're clear on where we are, honestly, where we're at, not trying to be farther along or more important or more wealthy or even healthier than you are. We got to get honest and clear without judgment. And we're right here, right where we're at. That breeds a level of confidence because now we know, all right, we're honest and this is where we're going. And I always use the body as a vehicle. It's like, all right, put your seatbelt on. It's a wild ride. And we are going 10 and 2, like my snack time, 10 and 2. I just had my snack in the break too. So my stomach wasn't growling in the microphone. 10 and 2, pedal to the metal, right? So it's like, hold on for dear life. But we know where we're going. And we are in the left lane, pedal to the metal. All right, so we got to know we have to have a direction. So we set goals. So we're still in step 2 of the freedom formula. We set our goals and we get clear and honest of where we're at in the pursuit of our next level version of us and that goal setting, right? So once we get clear, we can get more confident, right? So once we set those goals, we get honest, then we can get more confident. And we confidently still keep showing up and sharing what we're going after. I'm on a mission to help empower every woman on the planet put themselves and their health first for 34 minutes a day. Like, I have gotten so clear, and I've said it so many times to everyone that I can come in contact with. And that's a level of confidence. They're like, she knows what she's doing. I'm not arguing with her. And it's the little ones you got to watch out for anyways. So don't mess with me. I do teach kickboxing and hit as well. So anyways, it's a combination of things. You're going to learn a lot about me, and I have many parts to my personality, just like you. But part of being confident is honoring and owning all parts of me, and I want you to do the same. And we get to do that by just showing up and sharing and being open and being vulnerable. And yes, it's scary. But when we lean into that scary, when we lean into that fear, and we're courageous, and we have courageous confidence, and we're like, here's my heart. That's what I'm doing here with this podcast. Here's my heart. Come along. We're not meant to do life alone. And it's scary. And there might be some people out there that have opinions about what I'm saying or how I'm sharing, or I might be too much. And forget all that. I'm here. And so are you. Okay, so step 2 is confidence. Step 1 is knowing yourself to the core. Step 2 is confidence. Step 3, now that we know where we're at, where we're going. We're clear, we're honest. We have our value sets. We have our litmus tests. We have our lens. We know our personality. We're honoring and owning all parts of us. Now we got to be consistent. Now it's time to deliver. Now, if we deliver consistent stuff and we just throw spaghetti at the wall and try a bunch of different things, we're like, yeah, we're consistently inconsistent. Some people wear that as a badge of honor. But I'll tell you, we don't have a lot of time, my friends. Each one of us has 1,440 minutes in a day, right? So that 34 minutes, by the way, is only 2% of your day. So you have 34 minutes. But what consistent daily actions are moving the needle towards the next level version of you? That's the question. So we can do a lot of things every day and kind of go through the motions. Maybe you're consistent at watching Netflix right now. And if that's okay, that's okay, right? But I'll tell you, I don't own a television. So everyone asks me, are you watching that show? Did you see that movie? Nope. I live on the beaches of Puerto Rico. I live on the beach. So I don't own a television. And so I don't watch TV shows. Because my consistent daily action has to do with driving my business, having fun, having faith, the connections that I have with people around me. So I've prioritized the things that are needle-making moves to help me reach the next level so I can reach more people and impact the world with my message and travel around and teach fitness and workshops and speak on stages and host retreats. So everything I do is in pursuit of that dream. Right? So step number 3 is consistency. So we got to figure out, what is your dream? What is that next level step? And then we backwards plan. We say, okay, if you want to be like Oprah, or you want to be like anybody else, think of your hero, or maybe an Olympic athlete, or maybe you want to be in the NFL, or maybe you want to start a business, or maybe you want to be a speaker, or maybe you want to start a podcast, or maybe you want to be an author. What activities do those people have? What characteristics do they have? And start there and start being consistent with some of those activities. We can't wish our way through life into that next chapter. We have to consistently take the right actions that are going to have a compound effect to actually keep you moving the needle in the right direction. So I always say, the brain keeps track of the times that you show up for yourself and your health. All right, so the brain goes, ding, there they go again. Consistency breeds more confidence, brings more clarity. We get so emotionally charged when we're like, yes, I did it again. And then the brain also keeps track of the time that you cancel on yourself. So we have doctor's appointments, we have dentist appointments. Y'all ladies, you get your mammograms and your pap smears, right? So guys, get all the other stuff checked. I don't know. I'm not a dude, so I don't know all the things but anyways, for those guys out there, maybe you can help me learn a little thing. There's a couple things for the next episode. But here's the deal. You don't cancel those appointments because your life depends on it. So why do we cancel on ourselves so often? We cancel on our workouts. We cancel on our meals. We cancel on our hydration. We cancel on our sleep. And I'll tell you, the brain keeps track of those times that you cancel on yourself. And we have a Rolodex of all the times that we canceled, all that blame and shame and guilt and overwhelm and regret. It lives in our body. It lives in our nervous system and it lives in our body physically. So we keep track of all of the pain and suffering of all the times that we canceled on ourselves and we didn't do what we said we were going to do. So that consistent daily action breeds a level of confidence and accomplishment that fuels you forward, that can help you, launch you into new levels that you never imagined. Okay, so keep consistently trying, even though you're not seeing results right away. Consistency breeds progress over time. Progress will lead to more motivation and feeling of accomplishment, and that breeds an unstoppable energy, my friends. We're only halfway. Oh my gosh. Okay, so step 1, core. Know yourself to the core. Step 2, confidence. We got to get clear. Clarity brings confidence. Step 3, we got to be consistent. Those consistent daily needle-making moves that we need to do to make sure that we're going after and in alignment of where we want to go. So any bad habits that aren't serving us, of things that we're saying yes to that we need to say no to, that's where we do that audit. We do this work in the Cruise Beyond Limits world. So that's step 3. Okay, so we're consistent. Now, if you know, the first half of this freedom formula is all about you. Okay, so it starts with you. Just like one of my mentors, Trent Shelton, he says it all starts with you. At the end of every episode, it all starts with you. And in emotional intelligence, it all starts with you too. We have a personal competence. It starts with you. Your goal setting, your goals, your core, your consistent habits. Nobody else's. Once we get really clear and confident and we got our feet under us, we're like, yes, we got this. That's when we get into community. Now, here's where if you're not clear and you're shaky, then you're going to get around the wrong people. You're going to put yourself in different communities that aren't going to be in alignment, especially if we let other people's opinions and all the other noise creep in. So that's why we got to spend some time. And so that's what my hope is for this platform, is to be able to give you the time to dedicate to yourself. And we're going to unpeel the layers so that you can get crystal clear in who you are and what you're put on this earth to do. I'm going to give you tangible strategies, inspiration, right? So keep sharing this message because the world needs you. The world needs you to show up powerfully, consistently, and getting to know you to the core so you can show others what's possible. All right. And that means we got to get into the right community. All right. So we need the right community and people around us that are cheering us on, that are allowing us to be all of us. And I'm a big energy and I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. But when we get into community, we got to know ourselves first. And then we get accountability, we get the support, right? And so I love to train on emotional intelligence and relationships and boundaries, right? That's a lot of the work that we do in my programs. But part of this is finding out the right inner circle, the right people. And I always say there's 4 F's in relationships, and I'll do a whole episode on this, but I'll tap into it really quick. 4 F's in relationships. There's relationships you need to find. There's relationships you need to foster. There's relationships you need to fix. And there's relationships you need to fired, right? So this is the process, right? And so when we think about community in our circle and who we choose to spend time with and navigate this journey of life with, I'm so blessed to be able to sort out some people that are no longer in my world. They're no longer in my inner circle. And that is a very difficult thing, but they're not going where I'm going, my friends. And so for you, I want you to get crystal clear on your community and your circle and the people that you want to surround yourself with. And if you need a community and supportive, non-judgmental place to be, you're welcome in the Cruise Beyond Limits world. We're all family here. I told you it's all about faith, fitness, family, and fun. And we have fun around here. We're non-judgmental. We believe in ourselves and something that's bigger than us. We're here for purpose. We're here for impact. We're here to support each other. We're here to celebrate. Speaking of celebration, leads me to the 5th C in the freedom formula. It's all about celebration. And when I first ask a lot of people, or if they're achieving their goals, or they're doing something for the first time, maybe they're running their first 5K, or they're launching their podcast, or they're about to launch their book, I'm like, or when people come to me for fitness, they're like, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to look good in my wedding dress. I want to be on that cruise and not have to cover myself up. I'm like, okay, so how are you going to celebrate when you achieve your goals? Crickets. I don't know. That's a good question, they ask. I've never thought about that. We always celebrate everyone else. We cheer them on. We like their posts. We're commenting. We're sharing everyone else's stuff. But when it comes to us, we're like, ooh, no, we can't celebrate ourselves. Some of you are parents out there. It's like, no, we're not worthy of that. We have too much. We have to take care of the kids. Maybe we'll celebrate with dinner. We'll take the kids out and, it's a celebration. But I have to challenge, and I'm here to challenge you, my friends. If you want a coach that is going to tell you everything that you want to hear, I'm not your girl. Okay. So I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to pierce your heart, and we're going to have some fun while doing it. But if it doesn't challenge you, it's not going to change you. And we're not here for Mediocreville. We're not here for Comfy Cozyville. We're here for Cruise Beyond Limits. All right? So when you think about it, celebration is honoring yourself, something that you accomplished, and sinking it into your nervous system. And we go through this in the Krystal Clear Life Planner. That was my first book, self-published in 2021. The Krystal Clear Life Planner, a 90-day action plan to embrace chaos and live a fulfilling life. So I'll make sure that I copy that link in the show notes so that you can get access to it. But that maps out, we celebrate, right? And we think about, okay, what were my wins today? What did I accomplish today? And we're honoring it. So just the simple act of honoring it and sinking it into your nervous system each and every night, that is celebration. Giving it space, letting it breathe, sinking it in and saying, you know what? I just did that. Wow. And it can be so small. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. It can be like, hey, y'all entrepreneurs and moms out there, I showered today. That's a goal. I moved my body today. I drank all of my water that I needed to. Right? So those are celebrations. Now, I've had to work with a lot of clients too about, and I've worked through this, of not having celebration tied to food or alcohol. I used to drink a lot of champagne because when I first started Cruise Beyond Limits, it was a monthly challenge. So if y'all didn't know, I started the Cruise Beyond Limits virtual hit camp, the No Matter What Club, the fitness boutique. So it's online all over the world. And they're 30-minute hit and kickboxing sessions. And I started during COVID when all the gyms shut down. A friend of mine called. She's like, you always teach all these boot camps everywhere we go. Can you teach something online? So I figured it out. I created a landing page and I started teaching every single day during COVID. And then from March 17th till May 30th, I taught at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. every single day. Every single day, even the weekends. And then my friends were like, okay, well, we need to figure this out because I want to stay with you. We got to keep doing this. And so I figured out a way to do it into a 30-day challenge. So I was selling out this 30-day challenge it would be more and more people and it would exponentially grow. And I'm like, heck yeah, I need like a case of champagne in my fridge. Now this is during COVID, right? We all know what COVID, how everyone gained the COVID-15, right? Thank God I worked out twice a day and I had that level of accountability and support, right? To be able to make sure that I'm not drinking a whole bottle of wine during the day and eating pizza every day, right? I knew I needed to be at my best to teach at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. But anyways, long story short, I was doing these 30-day challenges. So I was buying cases of champagne because on the first of the month, I sold it out and I was like, yes, we got more people. And I would create these milestones and benchmarks. And then all of a sudden I'm like, we're drinking a lot of champagne. So that was how I celebrated. I'm getting real honest with you right now. Like that's what we did. And I'm not proud of that. But I am proud of the momentum and the consistency no matter what. And so now we celebrate in a different way. So it's not just going out for ice cream. It's not just going out to dinner and drinking wine and having champagne and a nice steak. It's more of like, hey, let's go on a day trip. Let's go out in nature. Let's actually write in my journal and like honor everything, all the steps. Let me go for a pedicure. Let me go get a massage. Maybe you just need to take a day off. Don't go and like literally shut down all of your computer screens. That to me is a celebration because I'm grinding. I'm going every single day. All right, I am here in pursuit of what is setting my soul on fire to impact the world because life is short. And we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. But I'm going to celebrate and honor each day no matter what, whether it's a dinner out or a trip or anything else, right? That we decide a pedicure, massage, facial, whatever self-care routine resonates with you. Maybe it's a walk. Maybe you go on a date night. Maybe you meet your girlfriends for a happy hour. Figure out what it is going to be for you to celebrate. And sometimes celebration comes from just posting on Facebook for that accountability and the celebration of honoring yourself. And this always creeps in. People are like, oh no, I don't want to be bragging. And for those of you, I'm going to go over this real quick, and I'll do a whole podcast episode on this. But the definition of bragging, Krystalore Crews, Cruise Beyond the Limits definition of bragging. Are you ready? Take some notes. The definition of bragging: celebrating yourself and putting someone else down in the same sentence. If you are not doing that, which you are heart-centered, loving, caring, giving soul, you're a nice human, you got a good heart, or else you wouldn't be here, still to the end of this episode. The definition of bragging: celebrating yourself and putting someone else down in the same sentence. That's ego, that's arrogance, that's condescending, that's ugly, that's the devil, that's all those things. And that is not you, my friend. So keep celebrating. Keep honoring the hard work that you're doing. I'm celebrating today, right? Sharing this podcast with you. Finally, after almost 7 years in business, I thought I needed to have a podcast to be successful way back when. And I honored the journey and the struggle and the pain and the trying to figure it out and muscling my way through. And it was like everything was happening right on time. And I celebrate every single hard step, every single step that got me to where I am today. And I'm celebrating because it was a journey, my friends. And I'm still on it. I'm still in it. And I'm here for the ride. So put your seatbelt on. It's a wild ride. 10 and 2. Don't forget your snacks. All right, we're talking about the freedom formula here today. All right, so this is just the beginning. So if at any time you feel yourself on shaky ground, maybe you're like on this lily pad or you're on a deserted island all by yourself and you're like naked and afraid, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, what the heck am I going to do? I want you to tap back in to this freedom formula. Maybe you just got diagnosed with an illness, or maybe you just had an injury that knocked you down. Maybe you lost that job. Maybe you retired. Maybe your kids went to school. Maybe you're an empty nester. Maybe you are someone that is a caretaker and you lost your parents or whoever you've been taking care of. Or maybe you're an entrepreneur and it's not quite working out and it feels very shaky. Get back to the basics. The freedom formula will set you free. And I always say the work works when you do the work. Know yourself to the core. Get clear and confident. Be consistent. Find a community and freaking celebrate the heck out of yourself because you're worth it every single time. So keep going, my friends, right? Get back to basics. Get clear. Share this message if this resonates with you. Send me a message on Instagram. Let me know, all right? I will help you move. If you're on shaky ground right now, just go. Keep going. Get back to basics, unpeel the layers, and this work will work, my friends. I promise you, if you let it. So keep going like your life depends on it, because it does. Cheers. Cruise Beyond the Limits.
More.
Whew. That was a little longer. 32.
Oh, was it?
But that's okay.